white mountain full of ice. There is a river flowing down, and most of the river water is frozen. Some water is flowing, and there is a lady sitting on the banks of this river on a stone bench. She is wearing white color clothes. She has a long hair. She is having a kumkum, and she is very bright and beautiful. She is just thinking and sitting there, and she's expecting somebody to come. And so she is looking around and seeing if those persons are coming. At the time, four ladies, they are dressed well. They come near her and they say, Queen, it is very cold here. Let us go back to the palace. It is very, very cold, and you may have health problems. If you're going to sit here, then this lady gets up and follows those ladies who are her maids. She follows some distance, and there is a beautiful garden. They are passing through that garden, and the lady wants to sit in the garden under the trees for some time, and her maids just surround her and make her sit, and they offer some fruits to her from the trees. The trees are having lots of fruits, green leaves. Everywhere it is green. The garden is very beautiful, and the frozen river is flowing by the side of this garden. The queen gets up and she tells the maids that let us go to the palace. And as she comes out of the garden, there is a palanquin waiting for her and hundreds of horses waiting, and the soldiers have already boarded the horses, and they are waiting for the queen to give command to move. The queen now enters the palanquin, and it is being now lifted by four soldiers who are bearing it, and the queen tells one of her maids, let's go. And the maids tell the soldiers that the queen has given a command that we can go. So the horses are marching in front, and the queen is in the center, and behind also there are many horses and soldiers, and they all go through some roads, and they reach very, very beautiful big palace. It looks very big, and it looks as if it is made of marble, and the dome is bright green in color, and some flags are there over this dome, and the soldiers enter the palace, and the gates are now opened for the queen, and the guards at the gate bow before this queen, and she now enters her room in the palace. The maids are around her, find out if she needs anything. Then this queen says that she wants to meet the king, and immediately The maids and some soldiers accompany her to the other side of the palace where the king has his room. They pass through the Darbar hall and go to the room which is adjacent to the Darbar hall where the king is resting. The king is informed that the queen is coming, and the king gets up from the bed and comes to the door and greets the queen, holds her hand, and take her to his room. And the queen looks around and asks him why he did not come with her when she went to the mountain to see the completely snow covered mountain, which was shining like silver. And the king replies that he had some work, so he could not accompany her. The queen gets angry with him and says that you don't have any love for me, and you have so many queens with you, so many ladies with you, and you never have any respect. You have made me the queen, the crown queen, but if you're not accompanying me wherever I am going, what is the use of me being a queen of this kingdom? It is a disgrace for me that I have to go everywhere without the king. And I feel very sorry that I am being ill treated by you. The king holds her hand and says that he loves her, he is taking care of her, and because of some urgent work, he could not accompany her. But the queen is very angry, drops his hand, and walks back to her room, which is in the other side of the palace, which is meant only for ladies. So the soldiers accompany her till the entrance, and the other maids take her inside her room. It is a beautiful room, very well decorated. Her bed is completely white in color. There is a complete cover over the bed, and nobody can see her from outside when she's inside the bed. And there are fruits lying on the table, and there are other eatables lying there, and the queen doesn't look at anything. She is still angry that the king is not treating her well. The king is worried, and therefore he calls his minister and tells him that he is not intentionally ill treating her, but the queen has got some impression that he is not treating her well. So the minister tells the king that he should spend more time with the queen so that the impression can be removed. After a few days, in a ground in the palace, there is some religious festival, and the king informs the queen that there is going to be a religious festival in a ground attached to the palace, and both of them can go and participate in that religious festival. The queen agrees, and both of them, dressed in their spiritual dresses, go to that ground. And that ground is very nicely decorated with havans going on. With so many rishis and pandits sitting in yagashalas, and the havan is going. Mantras are being chanted everywhere. Only the mantras are being heard, and the queen and king, both of them, enter, removing their chapels, and the king walks towards one of the yajna kunda where the fire is burning, and he goes and portraits, prostrates before the rishi, and he seeks his blessings. The rishi looks at both of them, and he immediately understands that the queen is not happy with his king. So the rishi tells the queen that she should not have any ill feeling towards this king, because the king is a very nice person and he loves her. But the queen doesn't believe even what the rishi is telling, and in disrespect to the rishi, she just walks away. And the king is surprised at the behavior of the queen, because he loved his wife and he never expected his wife to ill treat a rishi who has come all the way to do the havan in their palace. And the rishi looks at the king. The king is in tears, and he says, "Please don't curse the queen. I do not know why she is behaving like this. She feels that I don't love her, and I'm not treating her as the queen of this kingdom. And under pressure of work, under the attack from the enemies, and to safeguard myself from all these problems, I have to spend a lot of time alone and with the ministers and the commander. And the queen never understands that I'm under so much pressure and I cannot go with her wherever she is calling. But the queen is behaving like this, so I don't know what to do." The rishi tells the king that he should bring his wife to the forest one day when he is inside, and he will talk to the queen. And the king bows before him and moves to other pandits and rishis who are all doing the havan, and the queen goes to the other side of the ground and sits on the royal chair which is placed for the king and queen. The king goes to each and every rishi or the panditji who are doing the heavens, and after meeting everybody and after taking their blessings, he goes and sits by the side of the queen. The queen says that when I have walked out from the rishi, why did you stay with him? You should have also walked with me. And by staying there with that rishi, you have ill treating me. You are hurting my sentiments. That when I left him, you should have also come with me. But the king tells her that the rishi is a very divine person. He has been doing penance in the forest for so many years without food or water. And he is such a powerful person that we need to take his blessings. But the queen doesn't care about anything. And she just walks out of the ground and goes back to her room in the palace. The king is worried. And after a few days, when the rishi has gone back to the forest, he goes to the room of the queen and tells her that he is going for hunting in the forest and he wants her to accompany her. Initially, she refuses to come with him, saying that what I have to do when you're hunting. But the king convinces her, and they all start for the forest with a lot of soldiers. The king and queen on a horse, on an elephant back, they are sitting, and the elephant slowly moves into the forest. The elephant goes deep into the forest, and where the rishi is residing. As soon as they reach the rishi's cottage, one of the ministers go inside and inform the rishi that the king and queen have come to see him. The rishi comes out and greets the king and queen that they should come inside the cottage and remain as his guests. The queen is not happy to enter into that cottage and see that rishi again because she was very angry that he was advising her. But the king says that having come here, let us spend some time with this rishi and see what he has to say. So both of them get down, and with a lot of respect, the king enters the cottage and sits on a small asan given by the rishi, and the queen also takes her seat by the side of the king, and her face showing lot of unhappiness, hatred, anger. At the time, the rishi looks at her and tells, "O queen, please understand that you are here to protect the people of the kingdom. So please do not have any hatred, do not have any revenge, do not try to punish. Have a smile on your face and look at every individual as a citizen of your kingdom, and you are like a goddess who has come to this palace to protect all the citizens. Therefore, it is your duty that you have to behave like a goddess, you have to behave like a queen, and meet each and every citizen of your kingdom and see that what you can do for them." The queen angrily got up from her seat and told the rishi that, "Who are you to tell me what I have to do? I'm the queen. I know what is my duty. I know what I have to do. But you are teaching me as if I am your student. I don't care for you. I don't care for anybody. I don't care even for the king. I am the queen of this palace, and I have a lot of pride. I have the position to do anything. I can even chop off your head if I have to do that." The rishi smiled at her and said, "Whatever you're talking, whatever you're behaving, these are all happening because of your past life. You had a past life where you were a wicked woman. You were taking the life of so many people. You were behaving arrogantly, and you never had any grace or any soft corner for anybody. And you were doing witchcraft, and whoever came in front of you, and if you did not like him, you made him to suffer. You made some people not to talk. You could make people not to use their legs or hands. You could make them to be paralyzed and lie at one place. But all these things you did because of your karma. And now you have taken birth as a queen because of some good karmas you did in some other life. And you come here as a queen. But all the things that were there in your life, where you were doing witchcraft, were harming the people, that tendencies are still there in you. And you are hating the king because of your problem with him in that life where you had completely paralyzed him, and he was begging for your mercy to talk, to move his hands and legs, but you put him completely paralyzed. And even for water, he had to beg you, and he was lying in a forest in front of your cottage, and you were taking all the happiness looking at him. His suffering, his requirement of water, food, and everything, and you were enjoying when he was suffering. Now you have taken birth as a queen, and he is here as a king, and still you are not happy, and you are still wanting to trouble him. You want to create problems for him. Understand what are the responsibility of the king and how much tension he is under. So understand and realize what is happening to you, and what is happening and why it is happening to you. Why are you behaving in an arrogant manner, even with a very polite sadhu, a rishi like me? What have you got against me and all other human beings? So behave, learn that you have to behave well in this life. Whatever you did in that life has gone. You have taken a new life, and the God is so kind to give you this life as a queen and such a noble man as your husband. So you must have some respect for him, respect for the citizens, respect for rishis and sadhus like me, and you have to behave well. But the queen got angry with him and said, you say that I am a witch. You say that I practiced witchcraft. You say that I destroyed the life of so many people. I can't believe. I don't believe what you're saying. You're saying all these things to humiliate me. You're saying all these things so that I respect the king and I respect the citizens and I respect the sadhus and rishis. But I'm not going to do any of the things what you're going to tell me now. And she immediately got out of that cottage, and the king was in tears, and the king was not knowing what to do. And the queen started walking towards the elephant. The king prostrated before the rishi, and he asked, what can we do? She's not believing me. She doesn't believe that I love her. She doesn't believe that I am there for her. But she has got a lot of suspicion that I have so many women in this palace, but I never go to anybody except my queen. But how can I make her to understand all these things? And I am fed up, and I can face an enemy in a war, but I cannot face this queen who is giving me so much trouble. The rishi told him not to worry, and he gave him some water which he had meditated upon, had done some, chanted some mantras to purify that water, and gave that water in a small vessel. And he told that the king should carry this water with him in the palace, and whenever possible, sprinkle this water on the queen, because the queen is not forgetting that past life where she was practicing witchcraft. So that has to be removed, and that can be removed by sprinkling this water on her. The king was slightly relieved to know that there is something which he can use to control her. So he gladly took the water in his own hand and went, and he got into the elephant's seat, and the queen still angry, and she was feeling that under the guise of coming for hunting, this king has purposely taken her to this rishi and has humiliated her. On the way, she was very angry, and she did not talk to him also. And they came back to the palace, and the queen went to her room. The king was just thinking how to sprinkle this water, because if this water is sprinkled on her, she will come to know. So the king waited for the queen to sleep, and in the night he took some water and sprinkled on her. The moment he sprinkled the water on her, the queen woke up and angrily shouted that, who sprinkled water on me? And the king was there with a small vessel of water, and he hid the vessel from her, and he said, just to greet you, I sprinkled rose water on you. The but queen was very angry that how can he wake me up when I was asleep? And what is this game you're playing with me? And she started shouting at the king. And the king patiently sat there in the court and waited for her to cool down. And after some time, the queen cooled down and looked at the king, and she told, I am sorry. I shouted at you because you woke me up in deep sleep. And the king felt that the water is now working, because otherwise she would not have pardoned the king, and she would have asked him to leave. But though she became angry when the water was sprinkled, but after some time she came and sought pardon from him. So the king thought that this water is working and there is some good change in her. Few days went, and the king was looking for an opportunity to sprinkle the water again. And one day, the king did not come in the night to her room. So the queen got suspicious that why the king has not come. And he inquired with her maids that why king has not come in the night. Then she sent one or two maids to the other side of the palace to check where the king is there. They all went and searched, and he could not be seen anywhere. And they came and told that the king is not in his room, and he could not be seen in the palace. The queen got suspicious that the king must have gone to meet some other woman, and her head started boiling with the thought that he has left and gone to somebody else. And after 3 or 4 hours, the king came. The king had gone to go around the city, changing his royal dress, and into a very ordinary man's dress. And he was going around the city to find what is happening in the night, whether the citizens are happy, what they are talking, how they are living. And after looking at going around the city around 3 a.m., he came to the palace, changed his dress, and came to the queen's room. The queen was very angry. She could not sleep. And when the king came inside her room, she asked the maids to close the door from outside. And she was angrily sitting. And the king came and near her and he said, I'm sorry, I got late. Without thinking for a moment, the queen took a knife from the fruit stand and she was about to kill the king with the knife. At the time, the king sprinkled the water on her and the knife dropped down and the queen fell on the bed and she started sleeping. The king went near her and saw that she is sleeping and her anger has reduced and she is in deep sleep. So the king was sitting there till morning, and after morning, he left for his official room in the other side of the palace. The queen slept for 6, 7 hours, and after 6, 7 hours, she got up. She was feeling little relieved of her anger, and she told her maids to take her for a bath. And after the bath, she started walking towards the palace and went to meet the king. The king just held her hand and said, you probably mistook me that I have gone to some woman, but yesterday I went secretly to go round the city to see how our citizens are comfortable or not. This time now the queen is very soft and she accepted his hand and she held his hand and she said, I am sorry. Anger was so much. I was feeling that I have been let down and the anger went so much in my head. I did not know what I'm doing. And probably I lifted a knife and I was having the feeling to kill you. And I do not know what happened. Some water sprinkled on me and I went into deep sleep and the dagger fell from my hand and I probably slept for 6, 7 hours and got up. When I got up, my anger has gone. I'm feeling very normal. I'm feeling that you are not at all at fault. And it is my fault that I have behaved with you badly. And she touched his feet and she said, pardon me for whatever torture I have given you. Pardon me for the trouble I have given you. Pardon me the way I looked at you with suspicion. It is all clear now. I am feeling very fresh. I feel as if something has gone from me and I am having a lot of comfort. I am feeling very relaxed. I have no tension. I have no anger in my mind. And something tells me in my mind that I will never become angry like this in future. And I will be very, very happy. I'll spend my time with you without any problem. The king was very happy that his wife has now seen what she had to see, and she has learned that his anger, the suspicion, and all are not required in this life, but she has, as the Rishi had told, has come from another life in which she was practicing witchcraft, and because of that, she's affected. And whatever she did to others, that has come back to her as karma. And because of the water given by the rishi, to some extent, that karma has been removed, and she is feeling the relief in this life. So the king was very thankful and requested the queen to accompany him again to the rishi, and let us now go and pay our respects to the rishi. The queen readily agreed to go with him to the forest to meet the rishi, and the rishi was immediately informed by the soldiers the king and the queen are coming to see him. So the rishi was waiting outside his cottage, and the king and queen came on the elephant, got down, and the queen, before even the king could prostrate before the rishi, she fell at his feet and said, I really understand what you told me last time when I came, that because my life as a lady practicing witchcraft, destroying the life of so many people, making so many people immobile, paralyzing so many people, making people blind, making people not to talk. I can understand that that karma is affecting me in this life. And I understand you gave King some water which was chanted, and the mantras were there in the water. And when he sprinkled the water, I became like a cat. I completely got relieved of all my anger, tensions, and therefore I want to thank you for making me such a nice citizen, such a nice queen, and faithful to the king, and believing him, supporting him in his administration of this kingdom. And I'm very thankful to you that I met you. Then the Rishi smiled and he said, whatever problems you faced in this life, they are just 50% of the karma which you earned in that life. You're going to live in another life where you're going to face this karma of the balance 50%. And when that 50% karma is going to trouble you, is going to create problems to you, you have to think of me, and you have to think of that water I gave you, the water I sprinkled upon you. And the moment you think of me, my name is Jagannath Rishi, and whenever you think of Jagannath Rishi, I will be there to protect you. I'll be there to guide you. I'll be there to correct you. But this problem, what you have suffered here, is not over. It is going to come in another life, wherever, whenever you're going to take. So, just like your king saved you with the mantra, water I gave, similarly, whenever you're going to face this problem in any other life, your husband can think of Jagannath Rishi, and I will be there to protect you, to heal you, to relieve you of all your problems. And therefore, if you're not in a position to think of me, let your husband think of me as Jagannath Rishi, and I'll be there to completely guide you, to take you on the right path and remove your karma and make you a decent, make you a lovable wife like I did in this life. You will have problems in some other life, but don't get worried. I am there to protect you. I am there to take you on the right path. Therefore, you have to face that karma and face it happily, and let not anybody worry about you, because I am there to take care of you. Just like this life, I am coming to you with that life to take care of you. So you need not worry. The queen was little worried that this karma is going to be carried to another life. But she thought that this rishi is there to protect me even in that life. And why should I worry? She fell at his feet and she gave some pearls, golden ornaments, everything kept at his feet, and said, Rishi, please accept this as my humble gift to you. I cannot give you whatever relief you have given me in this life. But the Rishi said, for the people, gold, pearls, land have no value. We only value the affection, the love, the devotion that you people are giving to us and to the God. These gold and pearls have no value in our time, and therefore this is just like a mud for me. So you can take back all these things and use it, and I am there to protect you. So the queen was happy that the rishi had given her good relief from all the mental tensions and made her to behave well in his life. So she just fell at the feet of the king and said, I once again seek your apology for behaving with you, for having ill feelings in my mind about you and suspecting you. And therefore, please forgive me in this life and in all our lives that we are going to live together in future. Please forgive me. And the king said, there is nothing you have committed. You acted as per your karma, and the rishi has very clearly stated that whatever you acted, they were all as acted as per the karma which you had earned in that life. And therefore, don't have any ill feelings, don't have any burden in your life, in your heart, and be happy, and let us live this life comfortably. And both of them again got on the top of this elephant, and after waving at the rishi, and they started going back to the palace. And in that life, they had 3 or 4 children. They were ruling the kingdom very well. The queen was very happy. The queen was supporting the king, and both of them lived a very, very happy life. And they went to lot of temples. They went to lot of places and together, and they were understanding each other well. And therefore, the king was able to concentrate on his work, and the king was able to capture the kingdoms that were nearby. And the king was also feeling very happy that the rishi had come and saved his life and saved his marriage, because the wife was always suspecting him, and he could not concentrate on his work because of the frequent trouble that was created by his wife. Happiness in the entire kingdom, happiness in the palace, happiness with the children of the king and queen, and everything was going on very well. The king and queen became very old, and the king made the first, the eldest son, as the king of that place. And both the king and queen, they decided to move into the forest. So they left everything, and both of them walked into the forest. They went to the same rishi, and the rishi was still meditating. And this old king and queen went and told him that they have left the kingdom and come here to seek God. And they sought the help of the rishi to take them to a divine path, to take them on a very divine way, so that both of them can reach God. in whatever way it is possible and whatever way they can reach, the Rishi should guide. And the Rishi was very happy that the king and queen both have come happily, even though have completely left the kingdom and come here only with the intention of seeking God. He said, it is a great thought, it's a great idea, it's a great intention for the king and queen to come here seeking God. And therefore, there is no doubt that you will be successful in your mission to seek God. So the Rishi taught the queen and king how to meditate for hours together without food and water. And both of them started meditating, and they were feeling very, very nice, very happy in their minds, doing meditation, not worrying about anything, sitting and meditating, meditating and meditating. One day, the Rishi came out to see, and he saw both the king and queen meditating, and they were wearing saffron clothes, and there was nothing else with them. They were just sitting and meditating. So the Rishi went near, and he saw that both have been meditating for so many hours without food. So he thought that he should give them some food. So he went near the king and he called, Purushottam, you are sitting in meditation for so many hours. You don't feel that you should eat something. And the Rishi went near them and he looked at both of them, and he immediately realized that both of them have left their body and the souls have gone up. So the Rishi felt very happy that both the souls got liberation, and they are now out of all the problems of this birth. And the king had suffered a lot in his life because of the behavior of his wife. And he thought that he should help them in any life in which they are going to need them. And therefore, he immediately called one of his disciples and to give them a very decent burial in the forest. And he sent words to the king's children that his father and mother both are no more. Immediately, the entire kingdom people came rushing, and the Rishi told them that they will have to be buried in the forest because both of them have completely left, renounced the world, and they have come here, and therefore they should not be taken back to the palace and buried there, but let them be buried here in this forest, and both the souls will be happy to live here forever. And the king came and buried their parents there with a lot of full respects and paid respects. And he also paid respect to the Rishi, and he went back. Both the souls went up very happy, and both the souls reviewed their own life, and